Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Give me a minute. Ooh, let me tell you. Good morning, Mother Shirley. Let me see who in the building. Mother Loretta, Mother Deborah, Mother McKnight, uh, Damon. Come on in the room, y'all. It's so good to see y'all, and I'm finna let y'all see me in just a minute. I had to get myself together, as they say. As a Mary, I gotta get myself together because I got some place to go. Listen, okay. Woo! How y'all doing? How y'all doing? As they say, come on in the building. Good morning, Tanya. So good to see y'all. Whew. I had to get myself together. My daughter called me right as I was getting ready to go on. And one of her friends, and she was a former co-worker of hers, has gained her wings, and I knew her coworker, and I know her mom and know the family, know the children, and all of that. So that took me, I'm just gonna be honest. And so I had to get myself together. So that's why I said, "Ooh, what can I do?" I had a little 5 minutes one morning to get in, to get my emotions and get my life together, because the girl was asleep. I went to sleep. I fell asleep And I don't know what I was thinking because, I had a time the night before. And y'all know I'm transparent. So, don't judge me. But I went to the Chris Brown concert. I thought I was 20. Okay. I he was somebody I've always wanted to see. And I said, he's this close. And I went. So that's why I was asleep. But I didn't hear nothing because I didn't get home to 4 day in the morning. So I didn't get home to old dog 30 for real. And so that's where I was. I was in yes. And so that's where I was. I thank God for that. We got there safe. Wasn't didn't nothing pop off in our section, and we wasn't in. Uh, I'm gonna tell you, other than you know, I know y'all say, "Lord, here she go," but I'm very transparent, so I don't want y'all to. Please don't judge me. Don't still come back tomorrow, okay? Don't judge me. But that was just somebody I wanted to see, and he was this close, and so I said I gotta go, and I went. And so that's where I was. And that's that. And so um here is what I can say about this very, very, very transparent today. This morning that thing just kind of took me somewhere to to be here today. I mean tomorrow, yesterday, and gone tomorrow. And so when she called me this morning, it just kind of threw me for a minute. And so let's get back to kindness because that's where goodness, overflowing with goodness is what we're talking about this morning. And when we go to Psalms 23, and Damon put it up, um, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord. So, listen, when we think about God's mercy, his goodness, and we say, God, what can you do? Can you give me grace? Can you give me mercy? And it shall follow us all the days of our life. Then we have to begin to look at who God is and what he's doing in our lives. So surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell into the house of the Lord. So listen, when we start thinking about what God's purpose is for us here on earth, we have to think about his goodness. And when we think about overflowing with goodness, we think about, okay, well, what is overflowing? So overflowing is when we think about his goodness. Wait a minute, didn't even that's the wrong thing right there. Give me a second. My notes then went to another page. Give me a minute. Because now my phone. Okay. So here it is. The word overflowing is it means to be full. It means to spill over. So when you think about when something is overflowing like a cup, like he says, my cup runneth over. Goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. So when you think about a river or a um, container, if you keep pouring and pouring and keep going, eventually the water will fill up beyond the limit, and then you will turn. Then you will overflow. Good morning, Sister Crystal. Good morning, Dr. June. So good to see you. And so when you start thinking about that overflowing, what that means it often is talking about that abundance, talking about the blessings and the presence of the Lord following over you. So when you think about my cup overflows, when David went up, when you go back up to Psalm 23 and 5, what did David mean about that? He's talking about the stuff that surrounded him, that satisfied him in God's provision. So when you think about these things and we start thinking about his goodness, surely goodness and the love will follow you all the days of my life, and goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of life. What does that mean? So when we start thinking about the goodness of what is that's God's nature. That's his nature. That's his nature for his goodness to follow us. Now, are there prerequisites? Absolutely. Do we have to do some things to help us get out of do we out of to stay in his safety? Absolutely. It comes with some things that we have to do. So when you think about the Lord is good to all of us, and his compassion is on every hand. That's Psalms 145 and 9. And when you think about what God is doing, he says this. He don't want none of us to perish, right? And so when we think about it, we have to we have to start thinking about his goodness and his mercy that's going to chase us down. And when he chases us down, and I forgot to pull it up in the Gen Z. Give me a quick second right here, because I was pulling everything up, and like I said, she threw me off this morning because I just wasn't. I thought she was calling for something else, and when she said that, I didn't in my mind. I didn't think it because it happened so fast, so quick. So give me 2 seconds to get this in the Gen Z Bible. Okay, y'all. Psalms 23. You know I got to go to verse 5, because verse 5 is is I got to tell you about that one. He says, listen to this. I'm gonna just go from the beginning. He says, the Lord is the ultimate guide. He won't he won't need anything else. God gets me to chillax in lush grassy spots and guides me um to peaceful calm waters, because I need Psalms 23 right about now. It's like the dude knows how to create the perfect vibes. He totally reviews my soul. He guides me down the legit path of doing right by his name, even if I'm in a really dark scary place, like seriously bad vibes. I won't be freaking out because you're right there with me, and your guidance and your support gives me major comfort. Now, here's where y'all know I get excited about this. You hook me up with a lit feast right in front of my haters. You bless me with fresh swag, and my drip be overflowing. Like, no cap. Blessings and love will be with me every day of my life. And I'm going to chill in God's crib forever. Okay? So when we start thinking about what God's goodness and mercy is, we have no other choice but to continue to choose. Now, I take that back. We do have some choices. But if you want to be in the right place and going into the right thing with him, then you would say, even in a hardship, David trusted God, even to face his enemies, when you think about Psalm 145 and 9. And it says here, the Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. So when we start thinking about that, we have to begin to ask God to help us to move in a direction that we know that we can continue to stay faithful with him. So if we stay faithful with him and move in his goodness and his kindness, then we have to remember that God's character, we have to stop questioning his motives and begin to trust him in our hearts. And there are times when we don't trust God in our heart. And so we have to remember that we have to teach and keep God ever before us as we go through this journey called life. And so goodness grows through obedience. And so when you think about Romans 12 and 21, it says this: do not let evil defeat you. Defeat evil by doing good. And this where sometimes we get tripped up because we get beside ourselves. For sure, because listen, every choice, every single thing that we have, it starts with a choice. And we have to begin to ask ourselves what choices are we going to take? What things are we going to do that's going to keep us from walking into what God has for us? So we have to be so mindful of those choices. And so the Passion Translation says this: never let evil defeat you, but defeat the evil with good. And so then we have to begin to start asking ourselves, what is goodness? What are we going to do in the midst of what God is trying to teach us and tell us through our kind acts? Because guess what? We can do some kind things and we can do some kind gestures, but our kindness is not going to get us into heaven it alone. Because you have to still do some other things in order to get this goodness and mercy that's going to follow us. We have to continue to submit ourselves into the obedience of what Christ has for us. And so when God has those things for us, it's like, okay, if God be for us, who? Who? Who can be against us? And he got it right here. Because guess what we have to do? We have to trust in the Lord with all our heart and lean not to our own understanding. Because in every one of our ways, he's going to direct our path. And so the Gen Z Bible says it like this: don't let evil get the upper hand. Crush it with kindness. And we talked about kindness 2 days ago. And when we start thinking and getting into what kindness was, have we really been kind? I'm not frozen. I just want to know, have you been kind? Have you been following and moving into what God has said? Because I'm gonna tell you, the God be getting me. He be getting me. He wears me out. Okay. Don't think I get a free pass. Cause I don't. He wears me out and he says some things and he'll say some stuff and he'll let me know, okay, you said too much, you did this, you're moving like this. And so we have to ask. It's hard to treat she, she said it's hard to treat evil with good. But listen, I get it, because we all have to, we're all on a journey, y'all. And we're all, good morning, Kalia. So good to see you. We all on this journey, y'all. And we have to begin to ask ourselves in the midst of this, we're not gonna let the act of kindness is not only one time. That's right. We can't just check it off the list. Oh, I was good to my neighbor today. Check. But tomorrow I'm acting a fool. and the days after that, you do. Oh, it's not a one and done. This thing, this thing called life, it's a journey. And when we're walking in the fullness of who God is and what God does, we have to know that it is a daily walk. We have to ask God to come in every day, even on the days when we don't do the right thing, when we don't do the right choice. That's why we have to, those mercies are new every day. And that's why you have to get down on your knees and pray and say, okay, God, this might not be a better choice, this may not be the thing that I needed to do, but here we are. Here I am. I'm your vessel, and I need you to use me. And sometimes the human side of me wants to override the spiritual side of me. And then when it comes to this goodness being able to overflow, to be able to overspill, sometimes I fall short. Now, is that an excuse to keep doing whatever you want to do? Absolutely not. Good morning, Craft. So good to see you this morning. We're talking about his goodness and his mercy. So when we think about it, let your light. This is what the Genesis said. Let your light shine. Oh, wait a minute. I don't gotta say it to myself. Don't let darkness win. Fight with goodness. So when we start thinking about what we've been thinking about, because we still on the series of making better choices, and sometimes our choices may not be in an alignment of what we want God to do, but then we have to ask God to help us in the midst of this. So when we know that God's nature is good, we know that goodness grows through obedience. And so, what's the thing that we've been talking about? If we want to eat the good of the land, we need to do two things. Look, we having Bible study, Bible trivia. What's the two things? And I'm gonna get out the way, y'all. What's the two things? If we want to eat the good of the land, we got to have two things when we walking through God's obedience. I'm gonna see if anybody can say it, and I'll say it in a minute. Joseph responded to the betrayal with the forgiveness. You know, his brothers betrayed him, y'all. And we have to begin to look at some of the betrayals, some of the rejections, some of the things. First of all, we have to check within ourselves to see, am I right? Because, I've been working on the spirit of offense. And then offense brings on the feeling of that rejection. So I'm working on those things. And so I'm learning that I'm a little spoiled. Craft, don't you say nothing. You can if you want to. I'm learned I'm a little spoiled. And sometimes I just like to have my way. Is it anybody else that's in the room that like to have their way? I just want to know if I'm out here on the ledge. And so when you like to have your way, I'm not selfish, but I do like to have my way. And then that means, then that pulls in, you want to be in control. Then you don't really want God to do. Can we get some, can I get some honest folk? You like to be in control. But guess what? You can't control everything in every situation. Thank y'all. Thank you. I thought y'all had done got quiet, so y'all ain't left me, did you? Don't leave me. I'm a work in progress, y'all. Isaiah, Damon, you get the prize. If you be willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. Okay, Khalid, thank you, thank you. Um, she said she struggled with that control thing. Me too. Like she said, that's me. Good morning. Okay, my day. Okay. I, okay. I thought y'all had left me for a minute. I was like, dang, ain't nobody saying nothing. Please don't leave me, y'all. Don't leave me. And I said, don't leave me, please, please. Be like Jane Brown. But yes, so we have to ask God to help us in the midst of these things, because let me tell you something, y'all. When you tell God that you want to do the right thing and that you want to do some things and you want to stop doing this, do this, baby, the test, the trials, and the tribulation come. And ever since I started in May, she said, willing and obedient. Good morning, Mother Robin. You're going to eat the good of the land. And so I said, God, help me when I'm being this willing and obedient, and help me, you know. because making better choices, changing your mindset, changing your what you saying, you have to, he's tearing down and peeling off the layers of this stuff that we got on us. So when we've been talking about these pigs in the parlor, Mother Nash started this thing and this deliverance thing. And I have to be very transparent, because I'm transparent. So before I started this series, I have to be straight up, straight. I'm a straight shooter, y'all. The Lord, he's been dealing with me about certain choices and certain things I say. And I know y'all, if y'all was on here earlier, y'all know Tuesday night I thought I was 20. And so, and he said that's Janet Jackson in control. But leading up to Tuesday night, he dealt with me about some things. And I said, okay, God, now I have to make sure that, because when you think about the choices and the things that you make, you and the impact that you have on people, and I didn't realize how much impact that and influence. And I know some of y'all say, what do you mean? Your thoughts control your emotions listen. And so I said, God, you are with me all the way. And when he says that you have a level of influence, I said something to some colleagues or some partners that we work with. And I told the lady, can she change the meeting? Cause I knew I was gonna get in late. So I didn't want to be nowhere first thing in the morning like that. It wasn't my meeting, it wasn't that. And so the woman was done changed the meeting. And so my supervisor texts me when I'm on my way going to the concert. And she asked me a question. Y'all know I had to be honest. I said, well, yeah, I did. And she said, well, friend, this ain't your meeting. That's when I thought about it. You know what? You do have a level of influence. And so you have to be careful in what you say and what you're doing. And and as this series, as these things have been coming, well, I had purchased that ticket months ago. Okay. So I said, okay, Lord, here we are. So I said, now I know my life is really not my own. And so he started dealing with me like, you know what, going forward, I'm gonna need you to check with me about what you're doing. And what could I say? I'm a servant of the Lord. And so that's when I say, when you asking God to do some things in your life, you have to be very careful because he'll mess around and give them to you. Mess around and give them to you and change your whole life. And so that's what's happening. And I know y'all can see it before your eyes that God has beginning to transform because goodness grows through obedience. And so I said, okay, Lord, I will I will obey and I will consult with you going forward as to what I'm going to do and how I'm going to do it, because it takes a level of commitment. And when she called me and said the people I changed the meeting just off of me just talking, I said, girl, you don't realize, and I didn't. And sometimes people say, don't get cocky, don't get that. Yeah, I'm very humble with stuff. So I'm gonna stop there. But the goodness impacts others eternally, and that's where I want to stop. Um, Let your shine before others that they may see the good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So when we start thinking about the things that God got for us, we have to begin. We've been bought with a price. And we have to make sure that every act of kindness, everything that we do it according to what he has for us. And so, yes, I think I'm big and bad at times and think I can do what I want to do. But he checked your girl and said, no, you can't. You can't do what you think you want to do. And there comes a time when you have to make choices. And sometimes the choice is going to be no. Be still and know. So when we think about our goodness is never wasted, God is working us through as he draws us. You know, every kind word, every generous act that we do, a forgiving spirit can point someone in the straight way. So when we start thinking about the things that God is taking us through, taking us from, we have to think about that. So we have to ask God that when he's answering our prayers, and we got to go. List 3 ways you've seen God goodness this week. It could be in an answer prayer. It could be some type of unexpected blessings, right? And then start asking God, write down those things, and then begin to ask God to help you continue to be intentional when you're reflecting on God's goodness. And then you can do one thing of a good of goodness and that brings light to someone today. So as you reflect, ask God to go through and take you through a journey to help you build someone else's character. And you can do that through your attitude, your words, your actions. And so may whatever you do today, ask God to let his character grow closer to you. So when you start thinking about this, here's your affirmation. I walk in God's goodness. His lights shines through me. I walk in God's goodness. His light shines through me. And so as we go out the rest of our day, because we got 7 minutes before we get on nudge, let's begin to reflect on God's goodness. Let's begin to remember what he tells us to do, even when we don't want to do it, even when we want to do our own thing. We have to do, as they say in Matthew, Damon got it up here, 5:16. Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. All right, y'all. Same time, same back channel. I'll see y'all Monday live. I'm gonna do a pre-recording today because I will be traveling. So so I will get a pre-recorded, and then I'll see y'all back here Monday morning. Y'all come on back now. Okay? I'll see y'all live Monday, but I'll have a pre-recorded in the morning because I'll be traveling. All right. Take care.
Now tell me